Welcome to Time to Listen English Channel, your ultimate path to English fluency.
Hey, English learners. Welcome back to Time to Listen English Channel, where you can relax, enjoy natural conversations, and improve your English through real-life discussions.
This is a comfortable place to listen to everyday English, learn useful expressions, and build confidence one conversation at a time.
I'm James, and I'm currently holding a cup of coffee that smells much better than it probably tastes.
And I'm Eva, already judging that coffee even though I haven't taken a sip of mine yet.
Honestly, that's a very coffee lover thing to say.
I take coffee very seriously, which probably explains why I'm here so often.
So, Eva, how have you been lately?
Pretty good, although I may have spent slightly too much money on coffee this month.
Slightly too much according to who?
According to my bank account, definitely.
And before we dive into today's topic, don't forget to follow or subscribe if you'd like more English listening practice like this.
We love creating relaxed conversations that help you improve your English naturally and confidently.
Here's a question for everyone listening. What's your favorite type of coffee, or are you one of those people who never drinks it?
And if you do drink coffee, when did it become part of your daily routine?
That's actually interesting because coffee isn't just a drink anymore.
Yeah, for a lot of people, it's connected to work, friendships, routines, and even personal identity.
Some people collect shoes, some collect books, and some seem to collect coffee shops.
Which is exactly why talking about coffee culture is more interesting than most people expect.
So when did coffee become such a big thing for you?
Honestly, it started in college, although at first I drank it for completely the wrong reasons.
Let me guess, you were trying to stay awake before exams.
Exactly, and I thought drinking more coffee automatically made me a serious student.
That's funny because I went through the same phase.
The weird thing is that I didn't even like the taste in the beginning.
Really? Then why keep drinking it?
I don't know, maybe I liked the idea of being a coffee drinker more than the coffee itself.
That sounds surprisingly honest.
You know, I think a lot of people start that way.
That's true because coffee often feels connected to adulthood somehow.
Exactly, like carrying a cup of coffee suddenly makes you look busy and important.
Even if you're just walking around trying to decide what to have for lunch.
Especially then.
Eventually, though, I started enjoying the atmosphere around coffee more than the drink itself.
You mean sitting in cafes and watching people?
Yeah, there's something relaxing about hearing conversations, cups clinking, and espresso machines in the background.
That's probably why coffee shops have become such a big part of modern culture.
It's interesting because coffee shops used to be just places to grab a drink and leave.
Now some people practically live in them for half the day.
I've definitely seen people arrive with a laptop, a charger, headphones, and enough equipment to start a small company.
Oh, totally. And then they order one coffee and stay for 6 hours.
Meanwhile, the staff is probably wondering if they should start charging rent.
Honestly, I wouldn't blame them.
Curious, are you the kind of person who likes working in coffee shops?
Sometimes, but not always.
Really? I thought you'd love that environment.
Well, it depends, because some cafes are cozy and inspiring, while others are just loud.
That's fair. And sometimes the music is so loud that thinking becomes impossible.
Exactly. I once tried reading in a cafe that felt more like a nightclub.
That's definitely not ideal.
But I still enjoy coffee shops because they're one of the few places where people can slow down for a moment.
That's true, especially these days when everyone seems busy all the time.
You know, some of my best conversations have happened over coffee.
Same here. And now that I think about it, one of my most embarrassing stories started in a coffee shop.
All right, now there's no way you're getting out of telling that story.
I knew you were going to say that.
Of course I was, because you can't casually mention an embarrassing coffee shop story and then move on.
All right, well, this happened a few years ago when I was trying to impress someone.
Oh, no, this is already going badly.
It gets worse, trust me.
Please continue.
We were at a trendy cafe and I wanted to sound knowledgeable about coffee.
Oh, that's always a dangerous decision when you're pretending to be an expert.
Exactly. And the menu had all these fancy coffee names I'd never seen before.
Let me guess, you confidently ordered something without knowing what it was.
That's precisely what happened.
Oh, James.
When the drink arrived, it was tiny, incredibly strong, and nothing like what I expected.
And you pretended to enjoy it anyway, didn't you?
For about 10 minutes, yes.
That's amazing.
Eventually, I admitted I had no idea what I ordered, and honestly, it was a relief.
You know, that's actually part of coffee culture too. People sometimes feel pressure to know everything about it.
That's true, and sometimes people forget it's supposed to be enjoyable, not an exam. Honestly, that pressure exists in a lot of hobbies, not just coffee.
That's true, but coffee culture can get surprisingly complicated if you spend enough time around enthusiasts.
You mean the people who can describe 15 different flavors in one cup?
Exactly, and meanwhile, I'm sitting there thinking it tastes like coffee.
I once heard someone describe a coffee as having notes of chocolate, berries, and jasmine.
See, that's where I start feeling lost.
To be fair, some people genuinely can taste those differences.
Maybe, but I still think half of them are just more observant than I am.
What's funny is that coffee means different things in different places.
That's true. Some cultures treat coffee as a quick energy boost, while others treat it as a social event.
And some people don't seem to care about the coffee at all.
They just want a reason to sit down and talk for an hour.
Which honestly might be my favorite part.
Same here, because some of the best conversations happen when nobody is in a hurry.
Coffee shops create this strange space where people feel comfortable opening up.
Exactly, and I've had conversations about careers, relationships, travel plans, and random life problems over coffee.
Speaking of life problems, coffee has definitely caused one of mine.
Somehow I knew this conversation was heading toward another story.
All right, but this one is completely my fault.
Those are usually the best kinds of stories.
A few years ago, I became convinced that drinking more coffee would automatically make me more productive.
Oh no, I already know where this is going.
Apparently, I didn't understand that coffee has limits.
And you decided to discover those limits personally.
Exactly, and I drank way too much during a busy week.
How much is way too much?
Honestly, I'd rather not say.
Bad?
So let's just say I reached the point where I felt productive and panicked at the same time.
That's a surprisingly accurate description of too much caffeine.
My hands were shaking, my thoughts were racing, and I couldn't sit still.
So basically you became a very nervous productivity machine.
The worst part was that I wasn't even working efficiently anymore.
That's what people forget. More coffee doesn't always equal better work.
Exactly. And after that week, I started paying more attention to the ritual instead of the caffeine.
What do you mean by the ritual?
Well, that's actually the part of coffee culture I find most interesting now.
I mean, the small routine around coffee, not just the drink itself.
You mean things like slowing down for a few minutes before starting the day?
Exactly, because these days I enjoy making coffee almost as much as drinking it.
That's interesting because I have the complete opposite approach.
Really? Somehow that doesn't surprise me.
Honestly, most mornings, I'm just trying to become a functioning human being as quickly as possible.
So you're not measuring coffee beans and carefully timing everything?
Absolutely not. I'm barely measuring my own level of consciousness.
Thinking? See, that's where we disagree a little.
Raising eyebrow. Here we go.
I think part of the reason coffee became so popular is because it forces people to pause for a moment.
Shrugging. Maybe for some people, but a lot of people drink coffee while rushing somewhere.
That's fair, although cafes themselves seem designed to encourage people to stay longer.
Nodding. I can agree with that, especially the cozy ones with comfortable chairs and soft music.
Smiling. Exactly. Those places almost invite you to slow down.
Reflective. You know, one thing I love about coffee culture is how different generations use coffee shops.
Curious. That's true. And now that you mention it, I've noticed some interesting changes over the years.
Interested. Now I'm curious about what you've observed.
Well, when I was younger, coffee shops felt more like occasional treats than everyday destinations.
That's interesting because for a lot of people now, cafes are practically part of their daily routine.
Exactly. And I've noticed people use them for everything from studying to remote work to first dates.
And sometimes all three happen at the same table on the same day.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
The remote work thing really changed coffee culture in a big way.
It did because cafes became something between an office and a social space.
Do you think that's a good change?
Mostly yes, but sometimes I miss when coffee shops felt a little less busy.
That's the most I'm getting older comment you've made today.
Grinning, maybe, but I stand by it.
I get what you mean though. Some places feel so crowded now that finding a seat becomes a challenge.
Exactly, and occasionally I walk into a cafe and immediately decide to leave.
Same, especially when every table is occupied by someone wearing headphones and staring at a laptop.
That's become part of modern coffee culture too.
Still, I like the fact that coffee shops bring together so many different kinds of people.
That's probably why they make such great places for observing human behavior.
Which sounds slightly creepy when you say it like that.
All right, maybe observing human behavior wasn't the best choice of words.
It sounded like you were conducting a secret social experiment.
Honestly, sometimes sitting in a coffee shop does feel a little like that.
What do you mean?
You see friends meeting after a long time, students preparing for exams, people working, and couples on first dates.
That's true. And somehow all those stories exist in the same room at the same time.
I think that's why coffee shops feel different from most other places.
They're not just selling coffee, they're selling an atmosphere.
That's a very marketing-friendly way to describe it.
Well, it's true.
You know, some of my favorite memories involve conversations in cafes rather than the coffee itself.
Same here, and years later, I usually remember the people, not the drink.
Exactly, although occasionally I remember a particularly good dessert.
Finally, an honest answer.
I'm trying my best.
Maybe that's the real reason coffee culture became so popular.
You mean because people are looking for connection?
Yeah, because even in a busy world, people still want places where conversations can happen naturally.
Honestly, that feels like a pretty good thought to end on, as we start wrapping things up.
You know, the more we talk about coffee culture, the less I think it's actually about coffee.
I was thinking the same thing, although coffee definitely helps the conversation along.
Fair point, especially for people like us.
Honestly, if coffee disappeared tomorrow, a lot of people would be very dramatic about it.
Including you, probably.
Definitely including me.
But seriously, coffee shops have become places where people work, relax, think, and connect with others.
And sometimes they become part of people's routines during important moments in life.
A first job, a new friendship, a difficult decision, or even a fresh start often comes with a cup of coffee nearby.
That's what makes coffee culture interesting, because it's really about people and their stories.
And honestly, those stories don't have to be perfect to be meaningful.
Exactly. Just like life, sometimes the best moments happen unexpectedly.
So whether you're a coffee expert or someone who just enjoys a casual cup now and then, there's no right way to enjoy it.
The important thing is finding small moments to slow down and appreciate where you are right now.
Life moves quickly, and sometimes a simple conversation over coffee is worth more than we realize.
That's a nice reminder for all of us.
Thanks for spending this coffee break with us and practicing English through real conversations.
If you enjoyed today's discussion, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss more natural English conversations in the future.